Let's give it up one more time for Physio Screen. Here we go. Come on, people.
Ah, what a nice day on the beach. The sun is nice. The waters are calm. But what happened to the skin then?
Hi Sharks, I'm Ball.
I'm Jet.
My boss, I'm Iron.
And we are Physio Screen.
Screen. Have you ever had that moment when you're out in the sun for so long, your skin turns red?
Yeah, you probably want to grab for some sunscreen. However, do you know that your common sunscreen is very harmful to both your skin and the environment? This is because it contains harmful chemicals, for example, oxybenzone and much more. These chemicals are very corrosive and can bleach coral reefs. This leads to the depletion of marine animals, therefore impacting us as well.
You see many news headlines such as sunscreen destroying environment or sunscreen destroying coral reefs. We wanted to change this. For many hours of researching and many formulas, we present to you Physio Screen.
Here's the list of ingredients in our natural sunscreen. The olive oil, coconut oil, and the shea butter have an SPF from 2 to 8. The jojoba oil have an SPF of 4, and zinc oxide itself have an SPF of 40. We knew that the jojoba oil is water resistant, so we tested on a paper in our science lab, and it worked.
So how do we produce our sunscreen? So first we measure out 60 milliliters of coconut oil and olive oil. Then we combine them. Next we measure out 5 milliliters of jojoba oil, and then we add the desired scent. After that, we add 13 grams of zinc oxide and then heat the oils up to 40 degrees Celsius to make the shea butter melt. Next, we add 50 milliliters of zinc oxide and then we stir it in.
Our sunscreen does not do any harm to your skin. The Skin Foundation has stated that about 3.5 million Americans will be diagnosed with skin cancer in 2019 because of chemicals in the sunscreen. Our sunscreen does not do that because in our sunscreen we do not have harmful chemicals such as oxybenzone, which does that to your skin. Also, we use reused containers. We will not contribute to the using of plastic because we use reused containers.
Not does our sunscreen solve the main issue of chemical sunscreen, it also works more effectively. Our sunscreen is a physical sunscreen which provides a physical barrier for your skin. The physical barrier reflects the UV rays while the chemical one absorbs it. It also makes our sunscreen last longer.
This is a picture at the Market Day booth. As expected, we sold out on sales day. We got a profit of 2,140 baht with a profit of 1,140 baht. With your support, we can expect the profit to rise. Not only will we gain more profit, we can also support our impacts, which are the environmental impacts and the social impacts. We are also donating 5% of our profit to the Skin Cancer Institute, which will help them fund their programs, this leading to a direct social impact. On sales day, we also got customer feedback from a 5th grader. He emailed us telling us how our product worked. So, Sharks, we're expecting a 2,000 baht investment from you, and with this investment, we can develop our business and improve it much better. The first thing we want to address are the containers. We're gonna go from using reused containers to biodegradable plastic containers. Therefore, The packaging will look more professional, but also remain the same positive impacts on the environment.
We are also gonna use coconut butter instead of shea butter because coconut butter works better than shea butter, but it is more expensive, so we need your support.
And also, we will produce more sunscreen to maximize our profits.
And as previously stated, the profit will go to the Skin Cancer Institute. This means your support is invaluable.
So this would be the expected profits if you had invested in our company. As you can see, the revenue is twice of the cost. Therefore, it proves that the profit margin is 50%. This is really effective. Not only do we get a lot of profit from selling out, we also have a huge impact on both the environment and society. So, the future. Every shark wants to know about the future of our company if you had invested in us. So, what are we planning for to develop? We're planning to launch new product lines to address different customer areas. For example, sports sunscreen, family-friendly sunscreen, sensitive sunscreen, and so on. Also, we're planning to advertise more through making campaigns on social media and through posters and flyers.
So we made a website so customers can have their questions answered, and also you can contact us by using the email address above. Do you have any questions?
So one thing I'm wondering is, you were comparing yourself to a lot of these other sunscreens that are out there. What are all the things that you are taking out? What was their purpose? Why would sunscreen companies put them in? Do you understand, like, what are we going to be missing out on?
So the oxybenzone that they had put in, it's mainly because it's cheap to produce, and since it's man-made, we don't have to go out and find it. Therefore, it's not as rare as the products that we use in our sunscreen, and therefore they get like so much profit, but we're expecting a good amount of profit, but also helping the environment and society.
Can you tell me a little bit about where this idea came from? Was there one moment where it suddenly came to one of you, or was this developed over time? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So just a few months before Shark Tank came, I saw on the news there were like reports saying how sunscreen's destroying coral reefs and the environment. So I kept that in my mind and thought about it over the time. And then once Shark Tank came, we presented this idea.
I'm sorry if you had already said this, but where did the idea for the elephant on the logo come from?
So the elephant, the idea of the elephant is like from elephants have like tough skins. So our sunscreen is also like tough against UV rays. So yeah, that's why we have an elephant.
And also the elephant is important to the ecosystem, and our sunscreen doesn't destroy the ecosystem.
I thought you were from another school almost. You covered up all your RIS logos, but very nice. What's your vision for an improved package for this? You said you'd like the investment to improve the bottle. What's your vision for it?
So we have brought this bottle. So if you had invested in us, we may decide to change to this biodegradable plastic bottle, which it looks so much more professional, but still has the same impacts on the environment.
Very nice. Smells good too, but I'm not sure if it's the essential oils from before.
The ingredients are on the back.
The only question I have is,
On the
usually
back of
when I
the-
cite sunscreen is always check the SPF. Do you think this would be, as a branding standpoint?
As of right now, how we can test our SPF is that we need to buy UV beads, and those are very expensive. So with your investment, we can get those UV beads and test the SPF. And if it does not work as perfectly, we can change the formula and develop so that we get into the market.
Do you know how to do that test, or who would you go to help you conduct that test?
So we watched a YouTube video on how to do it
it has many calculations. For example, how long you stay in the sun usually until the UV beads turn to another color, and then we can test it one box without the sunscreen and one with. It will be more accurate because in the science lab, we have a machine that could spray out UV light.
That's pretty important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Digital Screen. Great job. All right, and at this point, put your hands together. Let's welcome to the stage the Sockshot Group.
Hey kids, please clean your room. It's a giant mess with clothes everywhere.
Whatever, I'll do it later.
But why? It's so boring. I'm just too lazy now.
Yeah, Mom, it's so boring. Stop interrupting my game. See, you just made me lose.
This is a problem that parents and children face every single day. 75% of people admitted to littering over the last 5 years. The world is messy and no one wants to clean it up, but we have a solution.
Hey Sharks, my name's Don.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Mark.
I'm Belle.
And we are
Sockshot.
Sockshot is an eco-friendly, customizable basketball hamper that aims to give a little bit more fun to cleaning.
You can hang your sock shot anywhere and shoot pretty much anything into it.
For example, you can hang it up on top of a laundry basket and shoot your clothes in there, or hang it up on top of trash cans to encourage people to clean up.
Hanging it on top of recycling bins will greatly increase recycling. For example, putting our product up on dirty beaches will encourage visitors to throw trash into our product.
A study done by Harvard University shows that fun increases productivity up to 31%.
In 2015, a study done by Warwick University found that fun can increase productivity from 11 to 20%, just like Harvard University.
Another study done by the University of Minnesota shows that people who live in cleaner environments were more likely to make healthy choices.
Our positive environmental impact is that we use reclaimed wood and leftover paint that's about to expire if it's gone unused.
As for the cotton we use for our nets, it is completely biodegradable and 100% natural.
We also changed from wood glue to nuts, bolts, and brackets because wood glue is very toxic to the society and to the environment.
For the economic impacts, the production of cotton and steel is economically vital to the strongest nations and third world countries we have around us.
Around 300 million people worldwide are employed in the cotton industry, which means that their well-being depends on the production of cotton, according to Fair Trade Foundation.
And before we move on, would any of the judges like to give our product a shot?
Good stuff. 3 pointers from here.
These are clean clothes, right? Straight from your laundry.
Come on, come on.
You gotta like put a knot right in it or come closer or something.
Can I just dunk it?
Yeah.
Don't hurt anybody, especially yourself.
So our process in making Sockshot is really simple and organized.
First, I measure the wood and either Mark or Donovan cuts it. After that, I paint the backboards with the leftover paint.
I measure, cut, and sand the wood to make the Sockshot rim, and then I pass it along to Belle who makes the nets.
Yes, when that's finished, I take the finished rims and attach it together with the backboards with nuts, bolts, and brackets.
Every single piece of our product is handmade, and we put special care and attention to every single product to make sure that it's the best quality that we can achieve.
As for parental involvement, we received minimal help. Parental involvement only included a source for knowledge, encouragement, and someone to help us drive to certain locations.
At the marketplace, we sold 22 products, making us 1,960 baht in profit. Furthermore, we were one of the first teams to sell out and completely emptied our stock around the 30-minute mark.
We have 3 soft shot designs. The first one is a customizable whiteboard, which you can easily write on with a whiteboard marker. The second one is a solidly painted backboard, and the third one is a backboard with painted designs on it, which we will all sell at 175 baht units for.
Each soft shot costs us 77 baht to make. We sell it for 175 and we have 98 baht profit.
As you can see, this is our financial chart showing our revenue and the cost to make.
Sharks. We are looking for a 4,000 baht investment to make 51 units. With this money, we'll make 8,925 baht in revenue and 4,998 baht in profit.
And to give back to the community, we will donate 25% of our profit to the Chai Patana Foundation.
With your investment, we'll be able to donate 1,250 baht to the foundation, and we already have donated 514 baht.
And here is our evidence for it. The Chai Patana Foundation is a royal organization founded by King Bhumibol Adulyadej in 1988 that develops projects for the social and economical and environmental well-being of Thailand, aiming for a sustainable future. Now it is being overseen by Princess Siritharat.
Some of the notable achievements of this foundation is the Ganghan Nam Chai Patana, or the Chai Patana water wheel, Ermling and Phol Luang, or artificial royal rain.
So help us clean the world, one shot at a time.
Thank you.
I have a question, a little bit more about the mechanics, because I wasn't able to see your sales day, but at the end of the day, I saw a couple of elementary school students that were wearing these over their heads. I could still tell that, even though they weren't using it right, I could tell what it was for, but how would you hang it on a door? Is there any mechanism for hanging it?
So like our soft shots, we have like tape on the back, and so like you can stick it on like your wall.
Okay.
We're also planning to add a hook to the back with if we get the investment money to make it easier to hang our soft shot.
Great, thank you.
So from the ones sold, how's the feedback been? If the point is for improving littering, when you throw and you miss, what is the tendency that you would go, walk, pick it up, and throw it again?
Well, we saw at like the elementary school, they had like a kind of like a pit where it was, and then like inside the pit was like a basketball hoop. And I saw like some kids shooting like their plastic bottles into it, and even though they missed, they would pick it up and try to like eat their friends.
Do the teens do that too?
Well, it was only made for the elementary school.
Oh, okay, okay.
Did you ever think about maybe setting I don't know if you did this, but setting them up around campus, around garbage cans and things, and just sort of observe any changes in behavior or things like that?
We didn't have a chance to do that yet, but I think that's something we would like to do. I think we have to talk with the people, the administrators, to be allowed to do that, but that's something that we would really love to do.
And the 4,000 baht investment, that was for how many units, did you say?
51.
51, how long would that take?
Probably like a week to make,
Okay.
week and a half.
What's the heaviest item you could throw into that, would you say?
So we had a Big C, it's pretty big. We had a dunk on this basketball hoop. It was like full on, like smashed down. So I think that it can withstand basically like almost every object you want to throw at it. Like you can throw some rocks at it, and I think it'll like.
Maybe you can add a spring, like those, the real ones. The little hoops.
Can I hold it? I promise I won't put it over my head like the elementary school students.
One of the things you also mentioned is that you sourced your materials as recycled paint and recycled things in some of the boards and things like that. I mean, what happens when you run out What's your next level of sourcing?
So
if you
we
don't have
only
enough
got
to-
these from middle school. We still haven't asked the elementary school or high school to get some more of these backboards. So I think that, because like the art keeps making more and more of these, and the ones they don't use, they just keep giving to us. So I think it's a good supply.
And we know right now that there are some leftover boards that we first took, but then we weren't able to make them in time, so we know that there is a constant supply of the boards.
All right.
Thank you, judges. Big round of applause for Sock Shack. Thank you guys. Great job. For the 2019 Shark Tank Extravaganza, introducing Candles for Causes. Come on out, people.
Hi, Sharks! We are Candles for Causes, and we are an environmentally friendly candle company that makes soy candles and donates 25% of our revenue to 4 different charities based on our 4 different scents of candles we have. Our company started because one teacher, no one in particular, Mr. Moran, had a really bad smelling room, and we wanted to do something about it, but we heard that other groups were doing like air fresheners or something, so we decided on candles.
We are seeking a 4,000 baht loan. This 4,000 baht loan, we will be expanding our company and buying more and better materials so that we can improve our products.
For the marketing side, we'll be printing out business cards and posters to promote our product.
A quote that I found is, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" by Martin Luther King Jr. And the reason why we chose this quote to symbolize our company is because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all get some help somehow. But people in the world don't get as much help as they need. That's why our main priority is to give more money to those 4 organizations than we give to ourselves.
That's why we're donating 25% of our revenue to these charities.
The causes that we are donating to are
Vanilla Scent for vanilla workers in Madagascar, and the charity we found is called Down to Earth. Citronella is to help with malaria, and that organization is also called Get Well. For the lavender scent, we are donating to the Honeybee Conservatory because bees are extinct. And right now we've only donated to 2 out of the 4 charities. Because, like, for example, in the vanilla one, you have to live in India to donate there, so we need like time to figure that out, or find a new charity that donates to the same idea. So right now we're donating $7 to all of them, but the limit for the lavender one was $10. So Mr. Jeremy helped us by donating his $3 for us to actually donate.
For the lemongrass, we are donating to the cotton workers because
in my impact report, I found out that in the process of making cotton wicks, the cotton has to go through a process called the ginning process. And during that process, the cotton releases dust that came from the plant. And that actually gives cotton workers lung disease, and the type of lung disease is called binosis. It is like asthma, where you have a hard time breathing, and it could eventually kill you from that.
So we were deciding if we were going to use essential oils or raw materials like flower petals. We figured out that essential oils mix better with wax, and we didn't even know if the flower petals would mix with the wax at all. We also found out that essential oils are good for your mind. They can calm you down and relieve stress.
we are also deciding on aluminum soda cans or glass can, but we chose aluminum soda cans because they're much more affordable and waste less energy because we're recycling them. But the glass, it's really expensive and it wastes a lot of energy to make glass.
After my impact report, I was researching paraffin wax versus soy wax, and I chose soy wax because I found out that paraffin wax actually releases CO2 into the air. It releases 10 grams of CO2 for every hour that you light it. And also, so paraffin wax is made out of petroleum, which you have to dig out of the ground, which is not good for the environment, while soy wax is produced from soybeans, which is completely natural and has no effect on, it doesn't produce CO2 at all.
On market day, we made 3,645 baht, and we sold out. It takes us 45 baht to make each candle, and we sold them for 100 baht each. We also donate 25% of our revenue to charities.
If you give us the 4,000 baht loan, we would be able to make 91 candles, and we'd break even at 40 candles, and the rest would be profit.
We used 2,880 baht to buy materials, and our total revenue was 3,645 baht, which means our total profit was 910 baht without donating.
We also have an Instagram page, which is called Candles for Causes, and we also have a pre-order list. The Instagram is to help promote our candles and also help to promote our pre-order list. And the pre-order list is a form that you can fill out to say which type of candles you want and how many you want. That is it. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
One comment I had was when you were doing the packaging, did you find any problems with folding the tops? Is it a bit sharp?
That's why we did, because we were gonna not fold the tops at all.
Yeah.
But then, so we did fold the tops, and it's still a bit sharp.
Right.
But so we didn't really know what to do from there, because there's no way to really make it any less sharp. So we couldn't really do anything.
The other, these are nice. They smell nice. One of the things also with the packaging, you know, you have your candles for causes. I think it would be really useful to know what the causes are and if those causes were on the product itself so that people could know what they're supporting. And secondly, I don't know if you've had the opportunity, and I know you probably have to go back a couple of slides to check, but it sounded like some of the scents are connected to, the charities are connected to the scents that you have here. Have you thought about contacting any of those groups, or have you contacted any of those groups about some partnerships as opposed to just sort of donating money?
We sort of have with Fair Trade. I've been in contact with them, but it was kind of hard with like different time zones. So I would ask a question, and then they wouldn't really get back to me as soon. And so we're still kind of working on that.
Sorry if I missed this, but is this a mosquito repellent too?
Yes.
Yeah, it's mosquito repellent because it's citronella.
I have two questions. Number one, who drank all of the soda? And number two, can you tell me a little bit more about the source of the essential oils that you're using?
For number one, it was from our house where we drank, and we were reading it.
We also, what we try to do is we try to recycle them. And so one of the things that we have been thinking about is like going on in school. I mean, we don't really sell cans here. So like, I live in Perfect Place, and so does Lila. So if there is any like recyclable soda cans or any other cans like that, we could use those as well.
We also, for example, my parents and Kat's parents drink like soda water and like ginger ale and those type of cans, so we use those because they're the same size as the soda cans.
How long would it take to make, what was it, 91 candles? Or you were-
Yeah, 91 candles with 4,000 baht, yes.
How long would it take you to make that? You make it yourselves, right?
Yes, we make it ourselves. It's actually, it's not that hard to make because it's just like, you like have the aluminum cans there and you just like melt the wax and then you put the essential oil in and then you just like pour it in and have the wicks inside it already. And so it was pretty simple to make, but drying it took a while so you can really move it.
And like you were saying about the top part, that probably took the longest because we first had to cut the top off and with scissors, and then we had to cut each little piece to fold them over with. So that probably took about
The most time.
the most time, but not as much time as like we thought we needed. So.
Alrighty, people, now it's the toughest part of the show for our judges. We're going to give them a few minutes to deliberate, talk it over, see where they want to put their investments into which groups.
Yeah, I guess we could just start with the other Groups?
Start with and then work down. So we give some feedback, to groups, and we'll give our last comments and feedback to those groups that we selected.
Yes.
Does that work well?
All right.
All right. Let's see.
First of all, everything was fantastic. I mean, you guys really did earn your spots here. The reason it took so long is because this is not easy. Each and every one of you demonstrated all of the things that were expected as part as the judges are concerned. So the types of things that we were looking at are really fairly small because we have to make some sort of area of distinction. And so you really should be proud of yourselves for being here and making it this far. Just because you don't get money at this moment doesn't mean you can't just keep going and doing this on your own. I really do hope that with a little bit of feedback from us, that all of you, and then all of you out there too, who may have had groups and things started, that you continue to work and refine those things. So thank you, and congratulations.
I'd also mention, in general, some of the things we talked about in making final decisions is just talking really realistically is, would we imagine people continuing to buy this? We buy it for ourselves, would we buy it for a gift for someone else? Would it continue to be used and add value or life? Or is it just kind of a fun novelty at the moment, but wouldn't really have a lasting impact? So I think that represents some of the things that we talked about when making our decisions.
You should take one.
Sure.
Okay. So one of the groups that was not chosen, Eco Tote Bags. We really, the idea of bags is fantastic. A couple of the things that we talked about that you need to continue to work on is, number one, finding a way to distinguish yourself in a crowded marketplace with bags. Number one, there's bags everywhere. The bag you presented was a little expensive for people to buy, to do groceries and things like that. And the branding, for the size and things, and the branding, and also your ability to produce them. It takes a little bit of a while for you to make them, so we thought it might be a little bit difficult at this stage for them to be produced in a way that would allow you to sort of really grow it. But again, it was a fantastic idea, so congratulations.
Give it up one more time for Eco Tote. Great job, girls.
I can do that, so, because it's not fun, I don't want to make other things, because it was really hard to make choices, but one of the final groups that we did eliminate was the sock shop. So we were really impressed with the fun. I think I was really excited. I almost made it through at the end. And like I said, I saw some students who were really excited about getting a hold of this. But we did wonder about kind of the lasting impact of that, the quality of the product long term, how much it would really have an impact on the environment and changing things, although it's certainly very fun, was maybe not quite as impactful as some of the other products.
Thank you, Sock Shop, put it together.
The other group that we decided to decline, it was PhysioScreen. And one of the main factors we thought was that the testing was not there, was not ready. And for the marketing and branding purposes, it wasn't ready yet. So that was one of the main reasons. But the causes and everything was fantastic. It was really good. So I do hope you can continue with that.
Great job, PhysioScreen. Put your hands together. Nice job, fellas.
We don't want to do this like they did the Oscars a couple of years ago. So these are the go. Yeah. So that leaves this one.
I'll deliver the news on that.
So the next group that we
Decline fund
Sorry. Well, we love your product, and as we said, we liked your packaging, but I think in terms of 2 essential oils, 2 scents, there was competition within, as well as I personally also found that the product could have been more unisex. I think it's a very feminine approach, and if we wanted to diversify the market, I didn't really see that
I didn't see that right now, but it's a great product. We love the scents, and it's just that a lot of similar items are canceling each other out, so you just have to go with one.
Thank you, Fleur. Guys, can we give them a round of applause, please? Great job.
And you also presented that very well. You spoke very clearly, and I love the tie outfit. The tie touch is very nice.
Yes.
So there are two groups left. Before we, I guess, to save the mystery, we got 2 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about what we discussed with both groups, and then we'll talk about, I'll tell you how we made that choice. For, let's say, Candles for Causes, some of the things that we thought were really great was the causes themselves, and the fact that you were able to make a connection between the products that you were producing as well as the people who produced them. I think that's a unique take on creating products, is to create these awarenesses through the products themselves so that they're connected. We talked about the connectedness of that sort of thing. One of the things we think you can continue to work on is just sort of the overall packaging, just the cans themselves and also some of the labels.
I would add to that, there was a simplicity to the viability of making more and continuing to do that. It's a pretty simple process. So to be able to take an investment and make a lot more quite quickly, that doesn't seem like an overwhelming task.
With Bobby Stone, we number one, it smelled great, and I know a lot of the products here had scents as a part of them. One of the things that we thought was really great was just sort of the unique take on creating a scent, right? It's a different way of getting a scent into the air. It's not a diffuser, it's not one of those little mini humidifiers, and it's not an aerosol. So also acts decoratively too, and I think the bits here where you can have letters and have them customized, and so you can actually use them as decorations around the house. You can hang them in your car. There's a lot of different options for them. Our concern, what were our thoughts? We had a few. With the materials and the materials, I think we had a little bit of concern with, and just production, and sort of the ability to produce them. That was one of those things, and sort of making them in a way that they're the same and equal every time is something you need to consider when you're selling them, so that you can attract the buyer to come over and over again.
We did also like the idea of having something that can have a really long life. So you buy a product, and by adding oils, you can continue to give it a long life and not be constantly discarding a product.
And for, I guess, the final bit, right?
Yeah, we're just going to keep all the money.
We have decided to fund both groups. So congratulations. Bobby Stone, you guys will get $5,500 baht for Bobby Stone, and Candles for Causes will get 4,500 baht. So,